I did it last week.
Welcome to Nerd and the Noob, episode 49. I see dead people.
Hello!
Hello! I almost missed the hello.
Did you?
I was reading.
You were reading and didn't think about it, did you?
Hello! Hello! Welcome to Nerd and the Noob. For those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Greg. I will be your nerd today.
And I am Michael, your noob. This is your first and last stop for nerdy news and opinions.
From movies to comics and everything in between.
Let's get started.
That's a little better.
That sounds better,
I
right?
kind of like that.
I like that one better.
We're gonna go with...
Can you make those edits, please? We totally just did that on the fly. That is not what our intro said.
No, we're off book.
Yes.
Now we're back on book. To the weekend chat explosion.
And Les says, F you, busy. Oh, good lord.
I worked all weekend, however, other than gaming all night, which we did.
Wait, no, not just all night. I got off work. Oh, wait, let's just start with this. The producer says that he played poker, watched Kick-Ass 2, ate sushi, and got drunk.
I'm not sure those were in that order. And drunk dialed me.
And he drunk dialed me twice. He wanted to ask if I was on top of my wife. Twice.
Let's not talk about that.
No, we're not gonna. I'm just saying. I'm putting out there his state of mind at the time.
So, okay, I'm going to go into mine real quick. I didn't get to do anything nerdy other than the gaming last night with all of us. However, I was talking at work. I was on the phone. I was on a call. And the store manager I was talking to, I was doing something, and he says, "What's the problem, Dave?" He goes all 2001 on me, and I go, "Did you just make a Hal reference?" And he goes, "Oh my god, I'm so glad you got that. I thought I sounded really stupid."
Wait, I did that at work?
No. This led into like some major nerdy conversation, including recommendations both ways for podcasts, board games, and other crap. It was the weirdest thing. I went like this. Nick, store manager, right? Really? Do you know where you work?
In a tractor place.
He goes, "Dude, you have no idea how lonely it is to be like this." But still, it was one of the. I've only had that other happen one other time. It was a girl who had to have been in her 20s because she sounded really young, and I mentioned she heard something behind me, and she goes, "Oh, you guys talking about Magic the Gathering? I love that game." And I just kind of went,
Okay, so I've got one. This is way off topic now, but do you remember Dresden Files, the show that came on Sci-Fi?
Yeah, you love the books, right?
Yeah, I had some of the books. The wizard, he didn't like electronics, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was at a customer's house. This girl, she was probably 23, 24, maybe. And we got to talking about the electronics. She was trying to figure out what was going on with her TV. Couldn't get it working. And she goes, "It's probably me. Electronics don't like me." I'm like, "That's okay. As long as you're not a wizard who has, a problem with electronics, you should be fine." And she went, "Dresden Files?" And I'm like, now granted, I'm in people's houses making references all day. Nobody ever pays attention to them. The fact that she stopped long enough and went, "Huh?" And it just broke everything in my brain at that moment. I was like, yes.
Reminds me of one other story.
Story time.
I was at a comic convention here in Nashville, and I passed by this guy, and he had a conversation, and I heard the conversation, and he had Kryptonian tattooed on his arm, and it said, "What would Superman do?"
Okay.
In Kryptonian. And someone walks up trying to be a smartass. He goes, "How do you know that's what it says in Kryptonian?" And he goes, "How do you know it doesn't?" And he goes, "Boom."
Actually, that would look pretty cool. That would hurt like a mofo.
Actually, I've heard that one's not that bad.
Can I just get a wristband that says, "What would Superman do?" Instead? Please? Maybe?
Anyway, other than that, I really didn't do anything.
But game night
was long.
Was amazing.
Except your buddy, I think, cheated.
Yes, he won every game. He
Won every single game.
You went to sleep. We played 2 games in here.
Yeah.
He won every game. Anyway, I got home 5:00 yesterday. We played. Most of us played till like 12:30.
I did not.
Oh, you did.
I crashed.
You were there till 12:30.
What,
12,
playing? No,
yeah.
it was like 11 something when I crashed.
Was it 11 something?
Yeah.
And then we continued to play till almost 1. A few of us did. So we played Flux. We played
Flux, Munchkin. You guys played Catan. We played the DC card game, and I think that's it.
It was just holy crap. That was so good.
It was fun. It was fun. I like game night. And in fact, I posted it on Facebook. I said it's one of the best things we've done in a while, where we cut off the TV for essentially
and start some music.
Pay attention to ourselves, to each other.
Right.
Have a real But yeah, and then I float on the forums all day at work. So
I had a
on
busy
the breaks and lunch.
What would that website be?
That website for the forums, if you'd like to know, is nerdandthenoob.niceboard.com. Plug.
I didn't get to get on at all this week.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay, so I'm torn because I saw an excellent review by Spencer.
Okay.
For Jobs.
Uh-huh.
And yet Wozniak apparently is destroying it.
Really?
I didn't read the whole article, however. I just saw that he did not like it. And Spencer wrote a hell of an article. Like, it was impressive. Way to go, Spencer.
And we will be reading it, by the way.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will.
His whole article is like...
I saw it. How many short box stories do we have today?
All right, fine. Let's move on then.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the long box. This is usually where we put 3 to 4 stories, and we like to talk about them in a little bit more length. The first one up is Jim Carrey possibly to be an Amazing Spider-Man 2.
This was found by Keymaster.
Now, first question is, do you know who he's going to play? Do you have an idea?
Probably Cassidy.
For those people that don't know that.
Cassidy, what is Cassidy's last name?
Actually, Cassidy is his last name.
Cassidy's last what is
Cletus Cassidy.
Cletus Cassidy, otherwise known as
Carnage. I mentioned this, God, how many years ago did I say?
Although, I don't know why he would do this. Carnage is a very aggressive, very, destructive and... violent character. He just got done bashing the last movie he did with a violent character.
All of that being said, I've said Jim Carrey to play Carnage for years. He's lanky. He's got can mold his face. I mean, if he's not playing Carnage, he should be Clayface, for God's sakes. I think that is a perfect role for him. Let him just be insane. It would be the equivalent of, the Heath Ledger Joker to me. If he can
so we're going to lose Jim Carrey after this movie? Is that what you're saying?
Not that bad, but if he can lose himself in the role and just go nuts with it, I think it could be amazing.
I agree. Do you see anybody else that could do it, though?
Any well-knowns? No.
See, okay, that's where I've been getting at with these superhero things. Yes, they're bringing in people who are well-knowns, but
Sorry, I just read the chat. It's just been confirmed Vin Diesel will be Carnage.
I'm ignoring you all. Okay, let's go with, Chris Evans. He was known, but essentially his bigger break into the larger world was Fantastic Four.
Right.
And then that led him into everything else. I think you bring in these smaller level actors to give them a chance for stardom. Being in a nerd movie such as this, comic book, whatever,
which Jim Carrey's already done.
He has.
He would not just kick ass.
I just don't know if...
Riddle me this?
Yeah, I know! Nipple! I don't know if I want to see old Jim Carrey doing this part.
I think it could work. To me, I did some reading up on it because Gina was asking me. I was talking about this one at dinner, a little bit on Carnage, She was asking me why Carnage, or why Venom looked like Spider-Man.
Okay.
And what I was trying to describe was the difference, because I showed her a picture, and most of the time Venom is supposed to be very broad shoulders, whereas Carnage is very wiry.
Yes. Wiry.
And so I read up, and I found out exactly what it is.
Okay.
Okay, so Peter Parker had the Venom symbiote first.
Correct.
I'm sorry, the symbiote first. When he lost it or got rid of it, it took some of his powers with him, or with it, and then found Eddie Brock, who already hated Spider-Man.
Correct.
So that became the look, why he looked like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Carnage is actually the offspring of Venom. And it fused, the reason it's red and not black is because it got into a cut on Cletus's skin and fused with his blood and not his skin. Which is why he's red, which is why everywhere he goes, you see Carnage rules, it's in his own blood, because I'm assuming he has a cut or something somewhere. So that is why all the symbiotes that come after look like Spider-Man. Or at least a variation of.
You studied.
I freaking read. Like at dinner time, I was just reading. So this article is on Yahoo Movies, and it says that, I'm just going to kind of quote what I remember it saying. It says that there was somebody on Twitter, his cousin was at the movie set and took a picture with Jim Carrey at Amazing Spider-Man 2. And then there was another tweet somewhere. I have to look at the bottom somewhere. Let's see, where did it go? Unfortunately, let's see, it's a lot of speculation. No, let's see. Oh, in a fan tweet from March 13th, it was revealed that Jim Carrey had visited the Spider-Man 2 set, and this lucky fan had his picture taken with him to prove it. Given the fact that it's that the scenes shot in March were set at the Ravencroft Institute, and it's no big leap to tie Jim Carrey to the role of Carnage, especially since Cletus Cassidy was an inmate there during the Maximum Carnage series.
So the next Spider-Man movie is Amazing Spider-Man 3, Maximum.
Well, I kind of like this. You know, there are some people complaining on this, talking about there's already too many people. It's turning into another Spider-Man 3, all that. But this has not said anything about Carnage being in the movie. This is Cletus Cassidy. And I think that's a good way to do it, because you introduce the pre-character before the actual one. I think there's a good chance we might see like an Eddie Brock and a Cletus Cassidy, and number 3 becomes the symbiote trinity or something, something like that. Right? Tell me that would not be freaking amazing. You start out with Superman getting the symbiote, kind of like in movie 3.
How about Spider-Man?
That's what I said. What did I say?
Superman.
That would be cool as hell too.
That would be weird.
Spider-Man getting the symbiote.
He'd just fly it off though.
Exactly. And then you move into the progression of the symbiotes, because they always lose them and get them back and yada 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 yada. So
all right,
I thought it was
final
a good
thoughts
article.
on this. You like Jim Carrey as it.
Yes.
I prefer seeing someone not maybe younger but newer. Hell, at this point, let's bring in Cumberbatch.
Amen to that. High five on that one. I could totally go for that.
Cumberbatch is Carnage. Let's start that rumor.
Hashtag Cumberbatch
is Carnage.
is Carnage. Oh God, we're gonna get arrested for that one or something.
All right, next up is a rumor. Ian McDiarmid set to return as the Emperor in Star Wars Episode 7.
Oh wait, you have to read what it says on our
What does it say on that? That's 7, Michael.
Because I couldn't figure out last week what the I.
It's time for you and your crew to take back the streets, one wall at a time. Join the collective.
Commercials. There we go. We failed. We can't help it when there's a commercial.
Yeah. Vin Diesel confirmed.
Why? How did this get stuck? Did I just get rickrolled?
I don't know, but that is amazing.
What the heck just happened?
That's the wrong story.
I got punked on my own show with a Vin Diesel thing on a Star Wars post. What the hell just happened? I don't care.
Wait a minute.
This is our producer's fail. Fail. That is not a Star Wars.
So wait, Vin Diesel's not going to be the Emperor in the new Star Wars movie?
These right here about to get thrown at you.
Alright, we're going to let him fix that.
Go ahead and start talking about it, though. It's okay.
Okay, so it says... Okay, here it is. Let me see if I can grab it now. Oh, I'm crying a little bit again. Possible details on Palpatine's rumored return in Star Wars Episode 7.
A rumor surfaced online this week claiming that Ian McDiarmid will reprise his role as the Emperor in Star Wars Episode 7. Now, a more reliable source chimes in on how exactly the character will return and more. Before you look...
He's got to be a ghost!
No!
Yes.
In the expanded universe, he gets cloned.
How is this guy not dead yet? I'm sorry, he was old to begin with.
Clones.
No.
So there at some point in the expanded universe, there's a thing where like he continues to make clones of himself, but as he makes more clones, they deteriorate. Blah blah blah.
So he turns into the Asgards.
Yeah, Stargate reference. All right. Anyway, go ahead and read a little bit of the article.
The spoiler at the bottom says Palpatine comes back as a Force ghost.
Damn it.
Like Obi-Wan. Sith Lords learned similar techniques, which in some cases allowed them to physically interact with their environment. Palpatine will not be a clone, not in human form. Palpatine had a new apprentice before he got killed. Once again, not going by any books. Not one thing they have in the script is from a book.
I still think they end up cloning his butt.
You think so?
Yep.
And did you want to read any of that to make sure there wasn't anything in there? I don't know.
Let's just go off on it.
Huh?
Let's just go off on it. What do you care if he comes back?
I don't like Palpatine.
No?
I liked him less. No, I'm
Okay,
sorry. I liked him in the originals.
His most absurd line is probably my favorite.
Something.
Absolute power! It's my favorite. I don't know why.
He did not sound like
Screaming. I loved it. It was in episode 3. Other than that, like, I don't know. I didn't like him all reserved and everything. Although, looking over Luke going, like that the whole time.
Right.
Shooting lightning. That's cool, but as far as a speaking role,
right.
I think he had better stuff in episode 3.
Here's a good question. If he's going to be a ghost, do you think they Anakin him?
No, I think he may be pre-burnt, though.
Pre-burnt? Like before the lightning damage?
Yeah.
So, here's a question for you. How do you think the Force perceives you? Is this a thing like it perceives you how you want to be perceived? Or does it perceive you as how you died?
Did you just poop that question?
Almost.
I don't know. Considering that Alec Guinness isn't going to show up, it's going to perceive it as Ewan McGregor if he comes back.
True that.
It's going to probably... I would say it's not going to... In fact, you may not even see his face.
Which you did hit in on the next one. The next article we had was Ewan McGregor set to return as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Can I say, he is a super strong second for my favorite character in Star Wars.
Ewan McGregor?
Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Super strong second.
I'm assuming Luke's your first.
Luke is my favorite.
Okay.
And then super strong second was always Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan.
Uh-huh.
Like, I always thought they could make him older and bring him back in to be the Alec Guinness version of the Obi-Wan.
Right.
I loved his portrayal of him. He was humorous, but, like the stuff between him and Anakin. So, I think it will be really cool. However, talking of all these ghosts, if they bring back Hayden Christensen to be Anakin Skywalker again, instead of an older man, I'm pretty certain I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of things in here. There's your picture right there.
Oh my god. That is horrible.
So what do you think about Ewan? You like the Ewan McGregor coming back?
I've always liked Ewan McGregor, period. There are several of his movies that I do really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
There are several I've never seen, but I loved his portrayal from start to finish. Episode 1, the combination of him and Qui-Gon, Liam Neeson, were okay enough for me to watch the movie on a regular basis.
Ooh.
Other than that, I watched 2 and 3
Mm-hmm.
only because of his Obi-Wan.
I actually think I liked his Obi-Wan in 3 better than any of the Obi-Wans. No offense to the original Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I think
But
we got spoiled.
I
I think we got spoiled by the lightsaber battles, and that was a cool aspect.
No, I don't even think it was that. I think they built that character to me really well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Obi-Wan in the original was kind of gone. You know, he didn't last too long, and so at least with Ewan McGregor, we kind of had a,
How mad do you think he was having to be in the snow? Luke, Dagobah, it's cold. I'm a ghost and it's cold. Luke. And then you got Luke on the ground. Ben!
Now I'm reading the chat again. For those of you guys that don't know, this is a live show, and so we've got the chat loading, and they love to make fun of us. It says, I wonder if Michael, that's me, will get mad if Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy gets thrown from a spaceship at 60 light years and lands into another spaceship and goes, yeah, and gets up. Yes, I will get very mad at that.
Oh, actually, remember we saw something about that. Apparently Groot can grow back from a single splinter.
Thank you. Now you just made my day hell. Nope, not talking to you anymore.
Trainspotting. I've never seen.
I think this is amazing. I think they deal with the Hayden Christensen thing by not bringing Vader into the movie at all.
No, Anakin. I think Anakin is decided to go away.
Yeah.
I don't even think they bring Yoda into this.
No.
I think the guiding force in this one will be Ben.
Yeah. Agreed.
I kind of wish I'd had the story in between. I want to see the story between 3 and 4 showing why they call him Ben.
Oh, probably because he didn't.
Because he's
want to be
old
called
Ben Kenobi.
He didn't want to be known as Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but
You want to see what happens between 3 and 4, period.
of course. I mean,
I think we all do.
Now, there's rumor that Rebels, the new cartoon, is going to be doing that.
Really?
Yeah, like it's going to cover that time frame. I've also heard that it covers after. It's depending on what Disney wants to do now.
Well, of course.
But I don't know. I really want to know why he's called Ben. Like, what did he do? Because he aged not well.
Well, you got to think. What was it? It was. Oh my god! It really wasn't that far old.
It's only about 20, 25 years. Maybe close to 30 years, but I think it's like 25.
Yeah, I mean maybe max 25. Well, I don't know.
Luke was not old.
They were born at 3, but Luke was only like 19.
No, I think Luke was in his 20s.
Okay, fair enough.
How old was Luke?
I don't remember.
Anyway, so you got to imagine that the Ewan McGregor Ben had to have been portrayed into his late 40s or very late 30s or early 40s.
Yeah.
And then that I can see being into the 60s and then the gray hair and all that stuff.
Off topic tangent. I started watching that new Batman show.
Oh, yeah.
Beware the Batman.
Yeah.
Except for some of the art, like the way they draw
CGI.
Batman. I like just about everything about that. They've got a cool aspect on Alfred. He's like ex-Special Forces.
Yeah.
With MI5 or whatever. MI6. What is it?
MI6.
MI6.
I think.
They've got this
we got a
chick
couple of Brits.
from the League of Assassins.
Yeah.
That's now his sidekick almost.
She's one of the outsiders. I'll school you later.
Okay.
Do some more research.
But it's a good show. I mean, it's got really good writing to it. The show is a little dark sometimes, like literally visually dark. But it's pretty good.
Okay.
I thought it was. I just tangent.
tangent.
Yeah.
We are now going to move out of the long box. We hope you liked what we talked about, and if you didn't, who cares? It's our show.
Wow.
We're going to move into the nerd list, and this segment's nerd list was your top 10 movies of all time.
Yep.
Not what you think the best movies of all time are. Your favorite movies. Your top 10 favorite movies.
Yes.
So,
And I'm not surprised by most of these.
we're going to start at the runners-up, going from 15 to 11.
Wait, it should be noted that we had 256 movies nominated.
Nice.
That is amazing. So,
Number 15.
tied for 15th is Big Trouble in Little China and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 with 21 points. Now, the way we do our points is your number 1 movie gets 10 points, your number 10 movie gets 1 point.
Right.
So that means that at least 21 people voted for that movie.
Not bad. Number 14 was Transformers Animated. Heck yeah.
Was this the old one?
The 85 one. The only reason I watched that is because at the end, when the new Optimus basically is getting the... I know the name, I just can't think of it right now. The power.
John.
They have like this epic 80s rock music going, and I love it. I love it.
Number 13 is Dirty Dancing, which in this crowd
Matrix of Leadership. Thank you.
which does not... The Dirty Dancing being at 13 with 23 points does not surprise me with this crew. Because we're nerdy.
I like Dirty Dancing.
That's not a bad movie.
Because of someone else, I watched Roadhouse the other day. Roadhouse. Number 12, lower than I expected it. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. That's a lot lower than I expected.
That is a lot lower than I expected. Now, granted, that wasn't on my top 10.
Nor mine. Neither was the next movie. It wasn't in my top 10. The next up, number 11, was Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
And it with 25 points.
That almost cracked. So, what do you think the chances... There was almost a chance for all three, I guarantee. Because I know New Hope is going to be on here.
This one was, 2 points away from being in the top 10?
1 point from tying for top 10.
I like it. That's a good honorable mention.
Oh, definitely.
The other ones I could kind of do without. But this, to me, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back is a good honorable mention.
That's a lot of people's favorite. Like a lot of people out there, that's their favorite movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so now for the top 10. Would you like to go evens?
I'll take evens.
Okay.
Because this was my number. I want to say 4 or 5.
Okay.
Dark Knight Rises. No, this wasn't my number 4. This one didn't make my list. Good movie.
But the third one is not on your list.
But the third one was not on my list. And it got 26 points.
Do you think it's low because...
I think it's low because it was a good movie. But it
followed a great
comparison
movie.
To the other one.
You think like a standalone itself, it would have done a lot better?
Oh, yes. If Dark Knight...
Yeah, The Dark Knight.
If The Dark Knight had not happened, Dark Knight Rises would have been amazing.
But you're right. It compared bad guys against bad guys, and that's what it was. Yeah. It was comparing
the acting was
Joker
amazing.
Against.
It was. I love the fact that they brought back Scarecrow to run the crazy house of people that were. I love all that good stuff. That was in and of itself. It's a great movie, but you have to compare it to number 2.
Okay. Moving on. Number 9 is The Breakfast Club.
I've never seen it.
I've seen it, but it's been 15-ish
I know
years.
Emilio Estevez is in it, and I know the "Don't you forget about me." That's all I know.
Don't you.
That's all I know. That's all I know about I have to watch that movie.
Next up?
Next up we have Forrest Gump.
That's a surprise.
8th.
That's a surprise, though.
Well, no,
for our community, it's kind of a surprise.
Come on! Forrest Gump is like the penultimate nerd. The guy loves ping pong, for God's sakes.
He's damn good at it too.
And Jenny,
he
really loves Jenny.
Number 7 is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Again, I will say none of the Lord of the Rings made it on my list.
None of them did mine either, but I'd have to. I don't know. I don't feel them as much as everybody else.
Well, I fell asleep during them, so I figured I probably shouldn't put those on my list.
Yes, but you also tried to get murdered because you came out of the third one with a whole line of people waiting to get in. And what did you tell them?
I can't believe Frodo died.
And you almost got mugged.
A little bit. I also did the same thing to Titanic. I can't believe the ship sank, and people looked at me funny. I was like, really? If you don't know that going in, you're going to be in a world of hurt, let me tell you. Next up is number 6, Star Wars Return of the Jedi. So this is our second Star Wars movie in the top 11.
Super surprised that it's higher than Empire, to be honest.
No, I'm not.
I am because...
Wait, which one's got the...
Because it has the first generation's Gungans, which are the Ewoks.
I don't know. I think... Let's see. I'm trying to think which one I think I like better. I think I probably prefer... I think I probably prefer...
The other two weren't on my list.
I think I'd probably prefer Return of the Jedi better than Empire Strikes Back. Personally, me. It wasn't on my list either. I didn't want to saturate my list with Star Wars.
Thank you, team.
I like...
Somebody said we're awesome.
Well, thank you.
We like being awesome.
Alright, so number 5.
Number 5 is Pulp Fiction.
Now, I have watched this a couple of times. It didn't make my list, but it's a good movie.
Oh, it's a hell of a good movie.
But it's not like... That's not my kind of movie.
Okay.
But... Awesome movie. So good. You know, it's kind of like Idiots with Guns. That's just what it reminds me of.
I will, however, say that Thumbs and Ammo, the blog that somebody keeps taking guns out and putting thumbs, seeing Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta standing there doing this instead of this is fantastic.
Yeah, and yes, according to the producer, I need to watch some movies. That is correct. There are so I may have cheated a little bit. I was looking for inspiration.
Top 100 movies.
I googled the top 100 movies. Let me tell you, in the top 10, I'd seen like 3 of them, and half of them were the Godfather movies. I've never watched them. I don't really care to.
Speaking of that,
number 4 is Godfather with 40 points.
We've talked about this before. One of my... it's on the list because it is one of my top 10 favorite movies.
Right.
I love the whole series, but the first one is iconic.
Is that the one where he's going to make...
There's one Brando in it where he's talking like this all the time.
Wait, is Pacino in the Godfather movies too?
Yes. He's the son. He's Michael.
Okay. So, which one... So, it was Godfather, Godfather 2, Godfather 3, and then...
No, Scarface is a different movie. I just watched them all at one time.
Well, what does Scarface have to do with the others?
He's drugs, gangs, mobs, stuff like that.
I got that. I figured that out. Cocaine.
And
I could watch Michael Bolton on the internet and know what they do with that movie.
And it's always, Al Pacino screaming!
Right. But where does that fall in the thing?
It doesn't. It's just that's how I was exposed to it.
So wait, he's not the same character in both movies?
He's Michael Corleone in 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
In Scarface, it's a completely different movie. Oh my god!
Is it really?
Yes!
Holy shit, I thought they were the same thing.
No!
I thought it was like an offshoot.
At the beginning of this, we were talking about how you were no longer the noob. Guess what? You're still the noob!
I thought... Somebody lied to me.
Next on the list at number 3 is The Dark Knight, which I agree. This is definitely...
I've been lied to for years. Somebody lied to me. How is this? Wait a minute.
Now sit your butt. What are you doing?
Hey Gina, have you ever seen Scarface?
He is talking to his wife. What the hell is happening right now?
Don't think so, 'cause I don't care about either one. See, she doesn't like him either. You're no help though, but thank you. Love you.
What the hell just happened?
I'm trying to figure out how is... What?
After the show, we will talk.
No. Wait. Why did Pacino do the Godfather movies, is Corleone, whatever, blah, 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 and then turn around and do... now I'm getting confused.
He did, like, 1 and 2, I think, were back-to-back, and then 3 happened years later, and somewhere in between there, he did Scarface. Because he was young. Really young in the first one.
But...
No!
Why would you do 2 different names?
He was, like... What does it say? He was Puerto Rican or Cuban in Scarface. He's Italiano!
So confused.
In Godfather. Oh, my God. I don't know what just happened.
I'm so confused. Okay, so...
Number 3 is The Dark Knight, which we've all agreed.
Amazing. The only reason that one wins, and I'm going to try and cut my brain off from this Godfather shit.
The Joker.
Now I have to watch these movies. Is the Joker. I think the Joker totally wins that. Just completely and utterly. Don't get me wrong. I love the Batman character. I argue all the time that Christian Bale does the best Batman.
Okay.
We actually argued about it the other day. You said that...
I like Michael Keaton's Batman.
No, not him. Nipple suit. Who was that?
Oh, George?
George Clooney had the best Bruce Wayne because he just encompassed Bruce Wayne. He is
Bruce Wayne.
Yes, he is Bruce Wayne. He's got way too much money, and he could probably be Batman if he wanted to be.
He just
not
got done sleeping with Stacy Keibler. Yes, he can.
Did he really?
Yeah. Moving on to number 2.
I wasn't done.
Move on to number 2.
I want to talk about it.
Oh my God.
Jesus. No, fine. Number 2, Star Wars: A New Hope with 68 points. This was my number 1.
Was it really?
Yes, it was.
High five, I'm proud of you. Not happening. You didn't know they were different movies.
But I know the Star Wars movies are different movies. So, for me, Star Wars: A New Hope, every time I think of Star Wars, the scene I see is the very soft music where he's looking in the 2 suns.
Me too.
Okay, so you cannot think... If that's the first thought that goes through your mind when you think Star Wars, you have to say A New Hope is your favorite movie. Mm-hmm. Because that's it. Now, if you were to say, like, I'll tell you another one. The second scene that pops in my head is the one him standing in the cloak in Jabba's palace. Okay, that's why Return of the Jedi.
My next one is probably him facing down Vader in Empire.
See, I don't go to that scene. That's why, for me, A New Hope is the penultimate nerd movie. It's a sci-fi movie made on a budget less than probably what Desperate Housewives gets every week.
Probably.
And it stands up. I mean,
oh yeah, it still stands up. Obviously.
So to me, that's just the penultimate nerd movie.
However, our list would disagree with you.
It would.
With our number 1 beating out everybody royally, the Avengers with the first spot. Points.
Now, I will say this. I love The Avengers. I think it's a great movie. I think it was number 3 or 4. You know, one of my movies didn't make it on here. Inception didn't make it on here. So,
not going to lie, none of the current nerd movies, none of the Marvel or DC stuff even made my list.
Avengers made my list because it was completely just awesome.
It was what you expected.
Yes.
Like, for the first time ever, a group of superheroes came together and you're like, I'm reading a comic book.
For the first time ever,
on a giant TV!
For the first time ever, a comic book movie felt like a good movie. I guess an ensemble felt like a good movie in this.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's why I did put it on the list. Mm-hmm. It is a good movie. To me, though, the reason this one wins is 2 reasons. 1, a lot of our audience is probably younger. Okay. 2, everybody gets a case of the I've watched it recently.
3, Loki.
Okay, Loki's really good, but I've watched it. Like that was the hard part for me. Is in my brain was going, man,
What have I
Iron
watched
Man
recently?
was good. Spider-Man was really good. This
Yep.
was really good. Everything I've seen in the last 5 years.
I kind of took myself out of that. I looked through my there were ones.
I walked into the living room and looked at the DVD. rack.
Annapolis was on my list because I can watch that 100 times and
See,
never get bored
Replacements
with
was
it.
number 2. So I'm
So
just saying.
yeah,
This is a great list though. Okay, so out of the list, hang on. I'm gonna go. How many of these we're gonna have together? We got to go through and say whether you've seen it or not seen it.
okay.
Okay. Avengers,
Yeah.
seen it. Star Wars,
Yes.
seen it. Dark Knight,
Yes.
Godfather,
Yes.
no. Pulp Fiction,
Yes.
Star Wars: Return of the Jedi,
Yes.
Return of the King,
Yes.
excuse me. Forrest Gump,
Yes.
Breakfast Club,
Yes.
no. So I got to watch 2 movies so far. If that
Dark
was
Knight
all
Rises. Yes.
Yes.
Empire. Yes.
Yes.
Fellowship.
Yes.
Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
Transformers animated.
Maybe
Yes.
in like 20 years.
Big
ago.
Trouble in Little China. Long time
I
ago.
don't know if I've seen that.
I've seen every one of these.
Who
movies.
is that?
Oh crap! I have seen it. Is it Jackie Chan?
That's one's been a long.
No crap! I may be
time.
wrong. I may be thinking the wrong movie.
Big Trouble in Little China. I don't know. Okay, it is Jackie Chan. Apparently.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen that one. So apparently, I have to watch. Do I have to watch all 3 Godfather movies?
Yes. Because every time you think you're out, they pull you back in.
See, I know some of the scenes at least. I think so. I have to watch those. I've got to watch Breakfast Club, and I've got to watch Scarface.
And we're going to take a vote real quick, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. Chat, should he watch all 3 Godfather movies in a row? Like, that's his day off.
No. Tomorrow I'm streaming.
No, I didn't mean tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Which, when? When you do, yes.
I don't want to watch all 3 in a row.
Yes.
I'm not watching all 3 in a row.
Yes. I think it's a great way to take it in.
It's totally not happening.
It needs to happen.
Wait, but then when do I watch the Scarface? When does that fall into place?
It doesn't! Just pick a time. Scarface the prequel.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I'll watch Scarface first. Then everything will fall into place.
Oh, I'm sure it'll help me.
I'm not watching all Lord of the Rings in a row.
I can't even do that.
I fell asleep before the first one gets over. I'm not going to make it through all 3.
Okay.
I fell asleep. I paid the $15 for a ticket to go see it at the movies at a midnight showing. I ended up asleep in my chair. It was boring. The only scene I remember from Lord of the Rings, any of them, is the fight scene with the dwarf and the elf guy arguing, trying to figure out who's got more of a count. The dwarf guy gets thrown, and he keeps shooting, and he's like, I've got 6, I've got 28. That's the only one I remember. Okay? Just saying.
Okay, we are going to move on out of the list. That could have been a whole thing, like a whole episode. We probably could have done that. We're going to move into the comic of the week, which this week was Justice League Beyond 2.0.
Number 1.
Written by Christos Gage, art by Ivan Soelio. Sure. Cover by Carey Randolph and colored by Randy Mayer. So it's basically a story of essentially Superman's powers like going berserk. Like
Which
older
we've seen
Superman.
this recently.
Yeah, but it's older Superman's powers like
What did we
him.
see this in?
I don't know. We have seen it though. We didn't know it wasn't that.
Yeah, his eyes went
no,
nuts.
no, it was X-Men we saw that in.
No, it
Really?
wasn't X-Men. One of the recent movies.
I would like to point out that we did have, we asked for opinions of what you'll read this week, and we had 2 different people put stuff out there that we considered. However, they were not on Comixology, so we could not, and neither one of us has had time to go to a shop this week.
Yeah.
So we're going to read what you guys suggested, just may not be as a comic of the week, more of a review. We don't know yet.
So, anyways, back to Justice League Beyond 2.0.
First of all, black and gray Superman costume for this version, love it.
Second, we have read a Justice League Beyond. Apparently, if I had to guess, I'd say the 2.0 kind of is a reboot of the system. Because I did not like, if I remember correctly, I did not like Justice League Beyond the first time we read it. It just didn't seem to flow right. I didn't like the characters. This time, I liked it. I thought it was well. I thought the writing was.
The writing was put together really well.
The writing was put together really well. The art was
I like the art. I did. I really did. Like, it was for you, like, you're into that superhero, standard superhero artwork. Mm-hmm. But this was a little bit better than that. I thought it was pretty good in my opinion.
Right.
It was a digital first, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
So it's an all digital thing, I think.
And it's weekly, so I mean, at 99 cents, $4 to $5 a month.
Yeah, but still,
I'm gonna end up buying them. Then.
The thing that got me the most, and we always spoiler these things. The end of it, like, apparently if he stops moving, he stops doing things, which is what they want him to do. His powers kind of go berserk, and it's basically his eyes.
There was like 6 pages of different Justice League members taking him through things. Like there's this girl Flash that's racing him, trying to get his energy going. Yeah. Then there was the Green Lantern was trying to get him to
meditate. Barda was fighting him.
Yeah. Batman didn't do anything. Hawkman or Hawk Dude, Hawk something.
The Hawkman of that era.
The Hawkman of that era. I think they were fighting as well.
I think they were just flying, and then Superman couldn't stop and hit a wall.
That's what it was. So it was really good.
But at the end of it, Superman's eyes kind of go berserk, and he kind of fried Aquagirl.
That was weird. She was hot too.
Hopefully
she's not dead. That was my question. Captain Marvel is in this?
Yeah.
Does he not age either?
I guess maybe when he stays as Captain Marvel. No, because the Wizard was thousands of years old.
So I'm wondering if Billy Batson ages.
I think he gets to a certain point.
And then just stops?
And he slows down like Superman does.
Because I was reading something, I don't know if it's in the current Justice League run or what, but they did the backstory and they had Black Adam show up, and they tricked him into finally saying Shazam.
Yeah, but he was ancient. He was from ancient Egypt.
Yeah, and he turned to like dust.
Dust, yeah.
So that's what makes me wonder, what is Justice League 2.0? What year is that? What is Justice?
It's Batman Beyond years.
What is that though? Is that like
30 something years?
Okay, so it's not that far.
30, 40 years in the future.
Okay, so Billy Batson, if he's aging normally, would still only be like 60.
Yeah,
if that. 50.
Well, no, he's a teen. He's a kid whenever he turns into Cap.
40 or 50, somewhere
in his 40s or 50s.
Fair enough. They're still going on about Scarface.
I'm gonna get that and put it on Imgur for you. It's just gonna be a picture of you saying, "What? Scarface and Godfather's not the same story?"
Shut up. But yeah, so I liked the art better than the writing, but I thought the writing went well.
3.5 out of 5. Like it was a good book, but like you said, it did go fast.
I want to get a couple more in, so probably I just give it a 3 for now. I think that 3 probably changes as the story progresses a little bit.
Okay.
Because I'm interested to see where that goes. Hashtag Scarfather the movie. So yeah, good book. It's on Comixology. I think it was 99 cents.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of Christos Gage before. I've read some of his stuff.
I mean, it's not the guys I read.
Obviously, because their names aren't Jeff Johns
or Brian Michael Bendis. I think that's almost everything I have here.
It pretty much is, yeah.
Jeff Johns, Bilson. No, that's not one.
Scott Snyder's down there.
Bendis, and then the Deadpool one, which was okay. It wasn't great. Where's my number 1? Did you took my Deadpool number 1? Oh no, there it is.
No, I have your Teen Titans number 1. All right, we're gonna move over to the Noob Versus. Last week's Noob Versus was the Pirates edition, which was his Captain Jack Sparrow against my Dread Pirate Roberts from The Princess Bride. And dear God, I won again.
I don't know how this keeps happening. Okay,
for the first year, I almost lost exclusively.
Here's a rule for this episode: shut up.
Why?
I get to pick first. Okay?
Why? Are you tired of losing?
Yes, I won like 15 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't won in like 2 months. You have to shut up.
Jack Sparrow lost because he's a biznatch. And Dread Pirate Roberts is better than everything.
You just shut up. right now. Okay? I'm going to start a hashtag Greg Shut Up. or I don't know.
All right, let's hear. What is our next one?
Oh, so shut up. This is I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar. This is my wife's idea. She wants the greatest female characters ever.
Look away from the screen.
Alright, so
We're looking up. It's a little awkward.
I had to pick a female character. Obviously, I know where my brain goes to immediately.
Okay.
Do I want to go with that one?
That's up to you.
You know which one I'm talking about.
I don't know.
You obviously know which one I'm talking about.
Probably, but I don't know.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Okay, so DC, that's that one. Now you know which
Oh,
one
are
I'm
you
talking
really
about.
going to go with the powerhouses?
Well, I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Oh. I got an interesting one.
Okay.
It may or may not work, but I have an interesting one.
Okay.
Harley Quinn. She's crazy.
Uh-huh.
She's good with weapons.
Okay.
In an actual fight to the death, Harley Quinn could pull it out if she's got the right materials.
Okay.
Now I get to look at the screen.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh.
I totally
Because I don't want to go Wonder Woman. Everyone always goes Wonder Woman, and that's a lame answer, so I really don't want to do it.
Right. That's where I was going first. My first one goes Wonder Woman. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I think Harley Quinn is a good shot for a good woman win to the death. Don't look at the chat.
I know. I'm looking at the source side poster. I don't know.
And apparently I'm already getting a vote so far.
Laura Croft.
Oh. That's a good one, too.
Laura Croft.
So Tomb Raider
Yeah.
versus Crazy Joker Chick.
I like that. Laura Croft.
That's good.
You're probably going to lose again.
I hope not. I'm going to get really pissed off if I lose again.
We're going to have to cancel the segment.
Yes, I will. I will cancel new. If I win, no, I can't cancel it for next week.
Oh, that was a good one. The suggestion was Xena.
I don't know. My favorite so far was Marge Simpson versus Granny from Beverly Hillbillies.
Well, in that case, it should be Marge Simpson versus Peggy Hill.
Well, that would have worked too. So we got Harley Quinn. Me, vote Michael with Harley Quinn. If you don't, I might take this one out. It does say Noob versus, and I want to win. Damn it!
You like this part of the show too much. Or vote for Laura Croft, and I'm not even gonna have to argue with this because I already have this one won. I am confident.
You're confident?
I think she has a broader spectrum of fans.
Uh-huh. You know what I think? She falls onto the same patch of floor 19 times before she'll go up on that damn ledge. So I think I win. Because I'm just going to cut the ledge off. Oh, I think I win. I'm totally winning.
Nope. You're going to
really
lose.
win.
All right, moving on to coming attractions this week. We've got some reviews for Kick-Ass 2 and Jobs and Now You
See Me.
Now You See Me.
Yep. Alright, this first one is for Jobs. And this is got minor spoilers, and it's from Spencer, Sheehan7 in the chat. We're going to do paragraph by paragraph.
We're reading the whole thing, Spencer, so hopefully it's right.
Alright, so this is my first movie review. I hope you like it. This one will contain spoilers from the movie, but since it's based on his life, and if you know even a little bit about him, there shouldn't be any surprises. Enjoy.
Jobs is a movie about the life of Steve Jobs, Apple founder and CEO, and the birth of Apple. It stars Ashton Kutcher as Steve. It has had both good and bad ratings on numerous sites and made $28.0 million opening day this Friday. Now that's the basic story out of the way. Let's get to the review.
Let's see. Ashton Kutcher, as you can see in the picture above, there is a picture in his link. We'll make sure this link is in the description. Did a great job at portraying Steve. The first thing you see in the movie is Steve announcing the first iPod. He looked identical to Steve, and I didn't know it was him until his voice was a tad different, but I thought that was very cool that they created the iconic moment opposed to just using a video of the real thing. Throughout the movie, Cushing really nails the younger Steve as well, from the way he leans over when he walks to his from the way he leans over to when he walks to his easy temper at times. I wasn't so sure of the idea of Kutcher playing Steve at first, but I very quickly learned to love him as Steve. The rest of the cast was great as well, especially Josh Gad as Wozniak. All the characters had a good backstory, and you really got to know them instead of just being there like in some other movies.
The story started with Jobs working for Atari, and then the forming of Apple in his home garage with Woz and their team. It then shows the transformation from a small business to a major company. From then on, it focuses mainly on the company and Steve being removed from company CEO and the events soon after. It was very cool because I actually wrote about Apple for a history term paper last year, so I got to see all the events I read and wrote about come to life. I have a few problems with the story, however.
First off, it shows one of his early team members, Daniel, leaving his position as a Apple II repair specialist for the company after he found out he would receive no founder shares. Now, this was a nice addition to the main story, but they never said what ended up happening to him. It seemed like Steve wanted to help him, but never did. Also, they completely left out the fact that Woz ended up giving some of his co-founder shares to Daniel and the other 3 team members, which is a shame because it would have added to the lack of focus on Woz. Also, it showed that Steve's girlfriend got pregnant, but Steve didn't believe the baby was his. He later was shown refusing to sign a paper for child support for his daughter Lisa, who he named the next project after, which was weird. He later went on to marrying her and having another child, which they didn't touch on at all. The last point I have against it is that it ended very strangely. At the beginning of the movie, they show Steve presenting the first iPod, as I said above, but the story left off after Steve made Mark, his long-term board member, leave the board. It only showed a brief part of the beginning of the iPod's development in the last few minutes of the movie. They didn't even touch on the MacBooks, iPhones, or even the fact that he had cancer. Overall, the story was fantastic, and they really couldn't have added too much more due to the fact that the movie was already 2 hours long.
To sum it up, Jobs was a great movie, however. I'm a bit biased in that statement as I love technology, so to someone who doesn't like tech as much, they may or may not enjoy it as much. I also have a speculation that there could be a part 2 of some sort due to the parts I stated above were left out. Overall, I recommend it to anyone because it's important to know the story behind one of the greatest men and companies in history. This is in Spencer's opinion. He gave it a rating of 4.5 out of 5, and that's kind of what I've seen. A lot of up, but a lot of very up or very down.
My big thing is if you're going to do a biopic about somebody that just died, I think you should probably put that in the movie.
It's during the review I was even thinking, maybe if it does well enough, because they couldn't have spent that much money making it.
Right.
It's not a CG movie.
Right.
I think they make a second one to chronicle other parts of his life.
I agree. That was a good review. Thank you, Spencer, for that. Next thing we're going to do is the producers got a review of Kick-Ass 2. This one I'm going to have to make a little bit bigger because I'm going blind. And let's see. It says, well, let's start this off by saying I'm a little hungover from last night. Date night with the wife. There may be spoilers. Did you like Kick-Ass 1? If so, this one is better to me. Kick-Ass 2 goes more into detail of the lives of Hit Girl and Kick-Ass. Marcus, a.k.a. Morris Chestnut, is now Hit Girl's legal guardian, which, if you remember, was Big Daddy's partner when he was a cop. This movie really makes you hate high school girls, just saying. However, in one scene, Mindy, Hit Girl, uses a device she has to make you instantly vomit and crap all over yourself. And, of course, it's against the girls you hate, so you're laughing uncontrollably.
Now I just want to say there's a lot of death in this movie, and some people die which you didn't really see coming, some new characters, and some from Kick-Ass 1. I thought the Justice Forever group was great. Jim Carrey did not even sound like himself in this movie.
Not to drag this on or to give any huge spoilers away, I was thinking this movie would be a 7.5 out of 10. I was pleasantly surprised when I left. It was a realistic approach to if superheroes and supervillains actually existed in the real world. So I walked out giving Kick-Ass 2 an 8 out of 10. It's worth seeing if you like Kick-Ass 1. It's a good review.
I want to see it. I mean, let's face it.
Oh, I definitely want to see it. I just want to see it for Hit Girl. I think they took her character and really gave her a smart-ass writer. I think they really picked a good Jewish guy for her writing staff. I'm going to get hit for that one later by somebody.
Read the next review.
And then we've got Dave Townsend review of Now You See Me.
This one probably remembering what Now You See Me.
It's the magic one.
Yeah, but that was old. Like, it's already been out.
He reviewed it. I'm reading it.
All right.
A great movie, well produced, and with a strong cast for a lower end budget film. The main cast worked very well with good characters, and each introduced by a brief backstory. Fast-paced story with lots of twists, turns, and great illusions. A film that keeps you guessing till the end. A must-see on the big screen, and great to see it's been given a sequel. Nice, short. That was good. I like it. I think I still want to go see this. If it's in theaters, like when it hits the dollar theater or something, I may go see it then because it's already probably made its way out.
Yeah.
So. Wow, guys, that is awesome. When we ask for the reviews, now granted, if we suddenly come into this next week and we've got 9 reviews, we're not going to read every review. We love you guys, but it's not going to happen. However, when we get reviews like this, we just have to read them because they are thought through so much. Mm-hmm. So, I want to thank you guys for submitting these.
Next up, we have the top 5 movies from the week, and we're going to go with number 1 was Lee Daniels' The Butler with $25 million.
Number 2 is We're the Millers with $17.7 million.
Number 3 was Elysium with $13.6.
Number 4 was Kick-Ass 2 with $13.5.
5 was Planes with $13.1.
And other movies that opened were Jobs in 7th place with $6.7 million.
And 13th was Paranoia Bombing at a $3.5 million.
Which one was Paranoia?
I think it was a Harrison Ford.
Is that one? Yeah, it's got the Harrison Ford and
Hemsworth.
Yeah, Hemsworth. Man, I wanted to see that.
Low numbers, like overall, super low numbers.
No kidding. Well, it's because it's coming out of the summer months. Kids are going back to school, so movies are going to drop down. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. I want to see on that list. I want to see Paranoia, Jobs, Kick-Ass 2, We're the Millers, just for the stripper scenes,
and Elysium.
And I would think I'd like to see Lee Daniels, The Butler.
I think I'm gonna take Trent to see Planes. I might take him to see Planes.
Fair enough.
On my next weekend. All right, the trailers we've got, just real quick. There is a Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer reveal, which I've heard was really cool. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it was kind of epic sauce. However, I have seen the stuff for the new GTA 5 gameplay trailer. Did you see the GTA 5 online?
I saw bits and pieces of it.
Oh my god! Playing with your friends, destroying everything.
Does that have something to do with The Godfather also?
There was a Godfather GTA style game once.
Okay.
And last 300 Rise of the Empire trailer also got put out this week. So please go check all those out. They will be included on the
that
forum.
one's just totally under my radar.
I don't care.
I'm not even paying attention
I just
to that.
don't care.
Well, because 300 was so long ago.
It really was.
Like, I don't even know what year, but that just seems like it was a while ago.
So we're going to move into the short box.
Which is literally short this week.
Number 1 is Marvel News with Vin Diesel to voice Groot in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, by the way, the producer got it right as to who he was going to voice. That's all the story is really simply about, is after months of speculation now of who he would be or who he won't be. Which, by the way, he's voice acted before. His best role ever was the Iron Giant.
He didn't say anything.
I know.
You're such a douche. You're such a douche.
Anyway, so for those of you that haven't heard yet, he is going to play Groot, a giant walking tree. I'm okay with him voicing somebody, to be completely honest. He has a BA. His voice is very badass. I just can't stand him.
I think he would make a great Vision.
There's so many things to throw at you. Moving on to the next story.
Groot. Sorry, I'm just like... Oh, apparently there was a thing, somebody asked him why he wanted to voice that.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, because he's an actor, and it fucking can. I mean, wow. Next thing, we got some DC news. And by the way, guys, very short news week. Like, they're not short, but it's, like, just
And
digital.
yet the show's still going to be long.
Probably.
The Gina Carano is speaking on the importance of Wonder Woman.
Gina Carano's kind of hot.
Yeah, she's kind of hot.
Like her do a Playboy spread.
Really?
That's
what we're going to drop in here?
She doesn't have the acting chops to do Wonder Woman.
No. It says here she's been often been a popular choice by fans for the role of Wonder Woman in a feature film, even though WB has been silent about the character making her big screen debut. ComicZoom.net recently spoke Carano about the role and her being a common choice, which she called an incredible compliment.
That's the ultimate superhero for a woman. No matter what, no matter who ends up being Wonder Woman someday, I just hope it's something that is done correctly. I know it's there and that it could definitely be done correctly. It's just a matter of getting the right people and having the right vision come together. A director and producer and writer have to see the beauty in it and make it real.
I completely agree. Just to go off on that, I mean, even if she, it's as much as she would love to play the character, if it wasn't good for her, like if the script or whatever came to her and she's like, I can't do this, I would give her huge props on that.
I think she, honestly, out of everybody we've seen possibly to be Wonder Woman, she's probably got the build for it.
Yeah.
The most, because she's got all the tone from her MMA fighting days. But I don't think she just doesn't have the
I don't know
acting
if she
chops.
can. No, I just not for what you want.
She's getting better,
She is,
but not even close.
not yet. I agree. I think she's good. I think she has the fighting skill down, but it's a different style of fighting. Like she's, what you would want to call the Amazonian style of fighting is different than the MMA.
What she actually gets.
Wonder Woman does not become an MMA fighter.
No. Whoa, that would be cool. Dude, I could totally see that.
Really?
Yeah.
Like an undercover style. That's her. Instead of being like a government worker, she's an MMA fighter.
Dude, yeah.
Wouldn't that be unfair?
Yeah, but still, that would be badass. I would watch that. Because think about it. In the real world,
Okay.
where are you going to find a woman that's 6'5" and built like a brick chicken house? I didn't want to say the other word. She's just built. That would be awesome. That would work.
All right. I'm okay.
And then that could explain away, she that could explain why she knows how to fight, yada yada yada. I mean, she could hide in plain sight a lot more that way.
Wonder Woman kicks the crap out of Ronda Rousey. She's the female MMA champ, I think.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know who Ronda Rousey is.
Moving on to our next story.
What we got here? What Laurel will be up to in Arrow and talks about Black Canary.
It says, I missed it. If you haven't watched the first season of Arrow and you still have a few episodes to go, stop right here
Slow
as
down when you
we're
read.
going full spoiler
I'm gonna start
mode.
saying penis in the middle of your reading when you read fast like
During
that.
the first season, CNRI, the law firm where Laurel worked, was destroyed. During San Diego Comic-Con. Do you want to read the story or do you want to skip it?
No, just keep going.
During San Diego Comic-Con, Arrow revealed that Black Canary will be turning up in Season 2, but it's not Laurel Lance that will be kicking butt in Starling City. It will be her sister,
down.
Sarah. Holy crap! Okay, we can't read any more of this now. I can't do this now. I can't.
Did you just do something I think you just did?
I think I spoiled my own show.
I haven't watched the last 3 episodes. Do you work tomorrow?
No.
We're watching those episodes before you leave tonight.
Dude, I have a lot more than 3 episodes to watch.
Oh, well, you're shot.
We're doomed! Moving on to the next story. Just
Okay.
move on. Move on.
I can't talk
Forget
about-
we talked about that one. I should read my stories first.
Grapple. Oh, good. Time's up.
Moving on to...
I'm gonna listen.
Movie news. Assassin's Creed movie getting some rewrites. Oh my god, this movie's never gonna happen.
I'm going to keep saying penis if you keep talking so fast.
I'm getting better.
I can't read that shit. Is this going to spoil something about the new Assassin's Creed?
He kills people. There's a quote here from... Who is it from? I lost it. Go back down. If you're a fan of video games, chances are you've probably hated the films that come from them. Luckily for me, none of my favorite video games have ever been adapted, and the only one that currently is Shadows of Colossus will A, probably never happen, and B, has a pretty impressive pedigree behind it. This is also from thinkmcflythink.com. Off of that, though, co-writer of the Wolverine and the emotional and visceral character piece... the emotional and visceral character piece of Wolverine, of Marvel's clawed alcoholic lover boy, Scott Frank spoke to creative screenwriting about the film. Quoted as saying, "I'm rewriting Assassin's Creed right now. What I love about it is that I've never adapted a video game before, and it has its own set of challenges, especially in the world of rewrites. I love trying to do something completely different if I can."
Assassin's Creed is being written by Michael Leslie, who hasn't really done much by way of big Hollywood films, but Frank has had a role in adapting Minority Report, Marley and Me, The Wolverine, The Lookout, and The Flight of the Phoenix. Those might not all be winners to you, but I think Frank has proved he can do films with a real human element and pull some heartstrings. Something that Fassbender should convey lovely, and will add a much-needed emotional core so many films lack that the Wolverine will really succeeded on.
So, just to sum up, yes, dear God, finish and make this movie.
I'm still kind of hoping they do. I don't know what age they're doing that, but I personally hope it's like the older age. Like maybe not the original, but maybe Ezio.
Okay.
Ezio Auditore.
Okay.
So fun to meet you, the Godfather.
Just a Will Quickie update. The Turtles
Really?
movie, that's all I got.
A Will Quickie update?
A Will Quickie update. And now with the news. Paramount moves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to August 8th of 2014. So they keep pushing this back to do one of two things. Piss people off or sell more shit. Which one do you think it is?
It looks like it's because Transformers is slated for June 27th.
That will likely move to June 25th, as traditionally the studio has opened these Michael Bay films on the Wednesday of that week.
Both of these have involved campaigns and a big merchandise component. I could see the sense in that. You don't want the same studio.
Do you think they'll piggyback off of the current Ninja Turtles cartoon? Ooh. Like they'll combine for marketing?
I have no idea.
Do you think they will?
I don't really care.
Alright, fine. Moving on. Expendables 3 cast list so far. We're just going to read the names.
Holy
crap. Shit. You went there? Okay.
Why not?
Sylvester Stallone.
Let's see. Or to give them. Let's see. Hang on. What is it? With the third movie set to get rolling in a week's time, producer Boaz Davidson has made a pretty comprehensive cast list on his Facebook page. Or to give them all their first names as well. Okay, so we got Sylvester Stallone,
Jason Statham,
Harrison Ford,
Mel Gibson,
Dolph Lundgren,
Wesley Snipes,
Jet Li,
Randy Couture,
Antonio Banderas,
Ronda Rousey,
Terry Crews,
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Victor Ortiz,
and Kellen Lutz.
Those are all guys, bar UFC champ Ronda Rousey, which seems to kill the rumors about more women joining the pack.
No, they're probably going to end up in number 4.
And there's no reference to Mila Jovovich either, or Jackie Chan and Nicolas Cage, who are apparently all negotiating their roles at the same time. Wow.
Ronda Rousey got all their jobs.
It's a giant list.
How many of them die first 5 minutes?
Only the ones under 70. Which is like 2 of them.
That's funny. I think Victor Ortiz goes down pretty quick, I think.
I'm trying to remember who that is.
Oh, crap. If you hadn't asked.
You could have told me if I hadn't asked you, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Moving on to our next story. Gaming news.
Our last 2 stories.
Xbox One controller to be compatible with PC in 2014. Really?
Yeah, that looks cool. For some PC gamers, the ability to use a 360 controller was a viable alternative to the mouse and keyboard setup. But with the announcement of the Xbox One and subsequently an entirely new controller, questions lingered about compatibility.
Thankfully, a Kotaku interview with Microsoft has confirmed the Xbox One controller will work with PC titles eventually.
There's some work that we need to do to make sure that existing PC games that support the 360 controller will work with the Xbox One controller. A Microsoft spokesperson told Kotaku via email. While it seems trivial, it's actually quite a bit of dedicated work for all that to be seamless for the user. We know people want to use the Xbox One controller on their PC, and we do too. We expect to have the available functionality in 2014.
I'm going to go with hell no. If you're going to play on the computer, learn WADS, mother effer.
WADS?
Yes. And our final story in the short box.
Xbox One will function without Kinect.
So again, they're stepping back and going, no. Kidding.
We totally didn't mean what we said at the launch. It's just this simply what it is. We got a lot of people that were complaining that they didn't want the Kinect because it wasn't always on camera or it was always on microphone or something like that, and they were like, well, it's always going to be there. But apparently the console will still function if the Kinect isn't plugged in, although you won't be able to use any feature or experience that explicitly uses the sensor. So I think it's a good thing. Granted, I don't play mine to begin with.
I still sort of play it, but not that often.
Oh, Lord. All right, guys. Well, that's it for that. We're going to move on to the question of the week, which this last week's was, who would play us, me and Greg, in the Nerd and the Noob movie?
Our own sister weighed in on this one. Sarah Hill says, Noob is Dan Aykroyd, because they sound alike. Already, sure. You sound like Dan Aykroyd. Having a hard time placing other two, such as the producer. John Goodman is a good pick for the producer. No, not because he is bigger, but because he is great. Oh, wait, nerd, Mike Myers.
Myers.
Let's
see. I don't know who this is, but our stepdad says the Bobbsey twins.
I don't know who the Bobbsey twins are.
William McCamus says Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. And Tom Selleck is the wise and funny podcast listener, me. LOL, no. I'd rather be Sam Elliott. LOL. Okay, my serious answer. Vin Diesel and Bruce Willis, if he could be afforded at $100 million a day, and Kevin James is less.
You get to be Vin Diesel.
No, it's a
I do not want to be Vin Diesel.
Nerd and the Noob.
I do not want to be Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel and Bruce Willis.
The producer's choices are Michael gets to be Channing Tatum. Gina, you can thank me later. Greg gets to be Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Booyah! And he casts himself as John Goodman. Alrighty.
If they can make him look good, young enough. If not, Jonah Hill. Anthony would be Henry Cavill. Carrey, would be Scarlett Johansson. And our buddy Twinkie would be played by Eric Stonestreet. Super Chin. This is my favorite. I'm reading this one.
Okay.
It says, I'd like to see a duality that can only be possible from one actor playing both roles. We've seen this done in the past, but I feel it could be even more powerful when, quote-unquote, Nerd and the Noob, the movie, comes out starring Vin Diesel. Simply astounding. I love that one. That one's my favorite.
Next up is Keymaster, Danny DeVito, and the Governor. You can fight who gets to be who.
Danny DeVito.
You want to be Danny DeVito?
Fat than the guy. Yep. Carrie says the producer could be Jonah Hill. The twins will be played by twins, James and Oliver Phelps, otherwise known as Fred and George Weasley.
Yeah, Harry Potter cred up in the house.
So, guys, that's it for that part of the show. Only thing left is we got the question of the week for next week. This week's question of the week is, what's your nerdy dream job?
Or
nope.
Is that what we're doing?
Week's. Yep.
All right.
What is your nerdy dream job? What's your nerdy dream job?
I want to own a movie theater.
See, I go owning something too, but it's not nerdy. My dream job is I would like to own a successful bar.
It could be nerd themed.
I just want to throw darts and drink all day. Quite possibly
no,
get some kind of alcohol.
I've always, ever since I worked at a movie theater, I've always wanted to own my own theater. However, to add the nerd to it, I also decided that I would bring in a company or a business to run a comic shop in the theater.
I was gonna say, Second one would be comic book owner if I could still live comfortably off of that money.
Nope.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to have a second job because of it. So.
Well, you don't. You just live in the upstairs attic
Of your parents' house?
No, of the.
Oh yeah,
of the comic book shop.
Yeah. So guys, go make sure you go to all our websites listed now.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so on Twitter at nerdandthenoob or Facebook nerdandthenoob. You can get us an email. It's nerdandthenoob@gmail.com. You can get us on Twitter individually. The Nerds is gman0184 and the Noobs is at Mango IRL.
By the way, the show's Twitter, which you never say.
I said Nerd and the Noob.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Please go to our forums, sign up, join in, talk about everything. And bring something to it. nerdandthenoob.niceboard.com. And what else do I got?
That's it.
That's it.
That's all for the show.
Please come and join our conversations. We really do enjoy talking to everybody. We try to be as active as possible, but let's face it, we like it when you guys interact because then that's where stuff for us comes in.
We really should get an outro, message. You know, bringing all the world's greatest heroes together, or unite, blah, 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 blah.
Really?
Well, they stole the Avengers. Who could we steal? Justice League doesn't have one.
I don't know. I don't know!
Beware our power. Nerd in the Noob light.
No, ours would probably be Wonder Twin Powers activated.
Amazing!
We're not using it.
We're totally using
We're
that.
not using
We're
the Wonder
totally
Twins.
using that.
We're not using the Wonder Twins.
Totally using that.
Thank you for coming to the show this week. Please check us out every Sunday at somewhere around 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we will see you guys next week.
Wonder Twin Powers. Do it. It's staying up there, and I'm not cutting the show until you do it.
Activate.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
Activate.
Yay! Peace out, guys.